Welcome to another edition of Between the Lines. I'm Tyler Trumbauer. Glenn Mann will be along shortly. We have plenty of our usual BTL staples to get to on our final episode of the spring semester. And then I'll be going inside the locker room with the Kutztown football team. Stay tuned. Between the Lines, straight ahead. Welcome back to Between the Lines, and for the final time this semester, welcome inside the locker room. I'm Tyler Trumbauer, joined this week by the Kutztown football team, as we have, to my immediate right, the head football coach, Jim Clements. To his right, we have Craig Reynolds, the man, the shifty man in the backfield, and then on the backside there, we have Ronnie Tomasetti, and both of those guys here representing the team recently named captains for the upcoming 2017 campaign, which will get kicked off in September. Coach, just wrapped up spring ball, had the game last week. What are your initial takeaways from your team, what you saw in those initial workouts, and then obviously culminating with the maroon and gold game?
Well, I thought there were some good things, and obviously when you're playing against each other, there's always going to be a good, but with the good, there's someone's doing something wrong or not good enough. But I thought we competed hard in everything that we did. Some of the young guys got a lot more opportunities this spring, and that's really, as a coach and the coaching staff, we get excited to see those guys that were red shirts the previous fall, get them an opportunity to know that they can go out there and try to earn a spot on the team. There were some good highlights there that we saw with those young guys.
Certainly, Craig, for you, obviously moving up and now getting into that leadership role, as I mentioned, and being a team captain. What are your thoughts after spring ball and kind of heading into this season, knowing that you've already played a huge role in the offense and the team, and now you're going to take even more of a leadership role and maybe more vocal role as well? What are your thoughts about this season coming off to these first few weeks of spring practice?
Just in the spring, we got everybody ready, kept everybody motivated to work hard, do workouts and practice, and keeping that through summer, so when we come back in the fall, we can pick up where we left off and keep it rolling.
Certainly, Ronnie, coming off last season where you guys made it to the PSAC championship, obviously East champs, and rattling off 7 straight wins there in the season as well. How much does that kind of motivate you guys and kind of bring the spirits up in the locker room to get prepped and ready to go, knowing you were so close to getting that conference championship a year ago?
Well, starting at spring ball and everything going on with that, we came in just with a lot of momentum and really excited. Finishing the season 7-0, even though we lost in the championship game. That was a little setback, we didn't finish how we wanted to, but having that being said, very competitive spring ball, and going into the summer now with all that going on, we're real excited to come back and,
try to do it again and even better,
Yeah.
right? There you go. Coach, for you coming into this season, Colin DeGalbo, what's it like to have him now under center and be able to have a quarterback maybe through the entire spring, summer workouts and going into the season, instead of having a little bit of a quarterback competition of sorts and then obviously making a change in the season? How nice is it to have that consistency at the QB1 position?
Well, I think that's the difference going into this year than last year. Last year, Chris Kane tore his ACL in the spring, and we didn't really have anyone that was tested there at that position. So Colin did a great job for us when he got his opportunity in the fall. He continues to do well, do some good things in spring, but that's an open competition still. I mean, it is like that for all of our positions. We can't have guys resting on their laurels. They need to prepare and get ready to win a starting position, and get after it from there.
Certainly, and what about, you mentioned those red shirts and the younger players coming up. Was there anything that really kind of surprised you, someone that maybe stood out that you're ready to say, here's a hole, and this person and these people might be able to fill some needs we have going into the summer and then in the fall?
Well, I think up front on the offensive line is probably where we got hit the hardest with graduation, with 3 starters. one being a very, very good player for us, started 43 or 44 games, and our center, losing him, he was a 3-year starter. So, and then we lost another right guard who was also our backup center. So we had some question marks up front, obviously. Our starting right tackle didn't practice all spring with an injury, so a lot of young guys got opportunity. And Matt Sella continues to improve. He was a freshman that played for us this year. He didn't redshirt. He started, I think, 6 games for us this year. And he improved. And then Mike Italiani, who started as a freshman, got injured, played as a sophomore, got injured again. He's feeling healthy, and we moved him to center, and he's been a bright spot with the offensive line. I think he's got a bright future there if he can stay healthy. But overall, no, I mean, the young kids are working hard, just like our vets, and we're excited about it. It's pretty good competition at some spots, and we'll be fired up to see what this new incoming class can bring to the table.
Certainly, Craig, for you, as Coach mentioned, the offensive line having a lot of the question marks and needing some new pieces to be put in place for you, as a skilled position player, as back coming through, what's that kind of learning curve going to be like to try to learn new offensive linemen up front and work them into the chemistry of the offensive unit?
It shouldn't be too bad. Those guys, like you said, did play for us at certain times during the season. They do have some experience under their belt. So, going through all the spring practices and workouts and stuff, we became, closer and more understanding in the film room and, out on the practice field. It's been really easy for us to, come together as a group.
Ronnie, as I mentioned early on, you and Craig being team captains, of course, TJ, Tajir Jefferson, also the other captain, and of course a fourth one will be rotating through game by game with the season. What does that mean to you to be selected by coach and the rest of the staff as a captain and be able to lead this team, being able designated as captain and be able to step up to that role vocally and with your play?
It means a lot to me, being that knowing that the guys look up to me and the coaches trust me to take on that role and to be a leader on and off the field, having those guys looking forward to us, like looking after them, you know what I mean? They could come to us with whatever they need to, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's good.
Certainly, and Coach, new captains and new leaders, and as you mentioned, new pieces on that offensive line. And we'd be remiss to not talk about the one piece that's now moving on to the next level. Of course, Jordan Morgan being drafted in the 5th round by the Chicago Bears, and 4th Golden Bear ever to be drafted into the NFL. What, as you being able to coach, and we know your story of recruiting him when you were at your previous coaching stop and now being able to coach him again at Kutztown and seeing him move on to the next level. What does that mean for you as a head coach and obviously for the leader of this program to see you're producing players, and obviously Kellen Williams, who had pro day workouts and is looking to move on as well, to see guys go on and hopefully succeed at the next professional level?
Well, I think it's great. It's a platform that these guys have, and they took advantage of their opportunity. Those guys are guys that, you could ask Craig and Ronnie, they'll tell you they're 2 of the hardest working guys that we had on our roster since I've been here, and that usually parlays into an opportunity if you're good enough. And they took advantage of it. They worked hard, and I think the younger guys see that, hey, it's possible that, if we dream that, we can chase our dreams, but it's not going to get given to us. We're going to have to work hard for it, and we're going to have to put in a lot of work, and those guys did that. So it's a great example to our younger guys, and we're really proud of all the players, even the guys that, obviously all our guys that are graduating next week. Mm-hmm. We're really excited for those guys. Certainly
everyone moving on to the next chapter of their lives. Speaking of moving on then to summer workouts and continuing on and into the fall, what's ahead for Kutztown football as you set out a training plan and regimen for these guys? Breaks and then returning to campus to work out. What is these next few months like for the Golden Bears?
Well, we really don't get to spend time with them as a staff. We can't coach the kids with the NCAA rules. So a lot of them are going to be taking the lead from these 2 guys and Tajir Jefferson. So we've got to get together, and these guys will do captain workouts, be it 7-on-7 or just getting together, working out together. We have a few guys that are staying up on campus over the summer, getting jobs and working out here. It's tough when you can't get everybody together, but they all have the same common goal. They all know what they need to do. They've all seen where they can get to. So I think this summer will be great for us. It needs to be. If it's not, we're not going to have a shot. These guys have got to do a great job this summer preparing themselves and each other.
You guys ready for that task?
Yes,
ready?
sir.
All right, there you go. So that's the summer workouts. Captains leading it, and then getting ready to regroup with the coaching staff in the fall for that home opener and season opener. What is that, September 2nd, I believe, coming right around the corner then.
Labor Day weekend,
So-
and that's the key. Like when we get into camp, the quicker we can gel and find out where we're going to be, the quicker we can prepare for Assumption, because those guys have beaten us the last 2 years, and now we've got to make sure it doesn't happen 3 in a row. So
Absolutely.
we're excited to play those guys.
Third time, hopefully the charm against them. Ronnie, Craig, Coach, we appreciate the time, and best of luck in training this summer, and then we'll be talking to you guys right here on BTL in the fall. Right, Coach?
Go KU!
What's up, Kutztown University? It's your host with the most, Derek Bennett, coming at you this week with the top 5 plays. We're doing things a little bit differently this week. We're going to be highlighting Kutztown's very own Jordan Morgan, drafted 147, 5th round by the Chicago Bears. Here goes some of his highlights. And those were all of Jordan Morgan's highlights from his time here at Kutztown University and the Senior Bowl. I know I'm wearing a Cowboys jersey right now, but I had to represent my team. Congratulations to Jordan Morgan and the Chicago Bears. This is the last episode of Top 5 and of Between the Lines. See you guys next season.
Welcome everyone to the last episode of Halftime. And for the last time, I'm your host, Blaze Vasile, alongside with always
Tyler Godness.
Now, unfortunately, this week our athlete couldn't make it, had to cancel. So we decided to do something a little bit different. I know you guys been watching all season. You had fun with us, and we just want to recap some of the good times we have with you guys. So I think we should start off with some bloopers.
I mean, there's a lot.
There's a lot of bloopers.
Like we could go for like hours, I think. Just
do
on
not-
me. Maybe on me.
Yeah. So what you guys see, you don't see behind the scenes is the most interesting things. But now you guys can take a look. So let's check them out. Welcome to halftime episode. Since me and Tyler, you know what? States, good luck. Oh, so good. What are you in high school? And on this,
Blaze, your bowl is just like all out right now. Your bowl. It's just so bad. It's so bad.
welcome everyone. So we're Gab from the
I accidentally stopped the camera, but the audio is still rolling.
So, I mean, week one, even before week one, I think me and Tyler had no idea what we were getting ourselves into.
Not a clue.
All we were told was that we are going to be taking on a bunch of athletes in their sport, which sounded fun on pen and paper at the time, or while our teacher was telling us. But I really don't think we knew what we were getting ourselves into.
Not a clue.
I mean, week one, we had basketball, and we jumped right into it, and you know, it was a complete mess. We were all over the place. Our shots were blurry.
We didn't have like any like particular order. We kind of were just
No,
going.
we were just kind of going with it. You know, I'll tell you the truth. Like as the episodes went on, I think what was the next one we did?
Track and field.
Yeah, we did track and field. Wow,
Field and
let's
track.
talk about track and field first.
Field and track.
Okay, so coming from a high school athlete, you know, I was pretty fast, played football, and 4 years later, I am not the same kid I was at 18 playing football. So running sprints for half an hour was not the most ideal thing I had in my mind when signing up for halftime. And I think, you know what, at the end, I almost passed out. And that wasn't even fake. When you guys saw that, like I was actually seeing stars trying to talk to you guys.
I think we gave it our all. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. So from us, I want to thank you. I can't even breathe.
But Tyler, what were you most excited? What sport were you most excited for? Like, which one stood out the most for you?
Favorite one would have to be, and it's not even just because I beat you in it, but fencing was fun.
Here we
Because I
go.
didn't know anything
Here
about
we
fencing.
go.
I didn't know anything, but we learned a lot. And they were great over at the fencing club.
Fencing was definitely fun.
But it was fun.
I definitely enjoyed that. Me personally, I was really looking forward to rugby and football. Unfortunately,
Same.
that didn't happen. But you know what, bowling was fun because I wasn't really that. I'm not a good bowler, as you guys
Obviously.
could tell if you watched that episode. And I was also excited for wrestling because that was the first time we were coming in contact with an athlete where we actually had to have some sort of athletic ability and strength to win. Well, but we obviously didn't.
That was a hard circuit.
And yeah, that was definitely hard. He worked us out. He basically killed us. So I mean, we're still standing, not
alive.
fully. We're at like 50% health after the season, but
I got like
you know what?
a couple injuries.
You know what? I'm gonna really have to give it to wrestling. I was excited to see what I can do on the mats because I've never done that before and see
That's definitely in the top 3.
how Tyler could get hurt. Well, guys, for the last time this season, another week, another episode, and hopefully another non-disappointing season. Don't know, but I want to thank you guys for watching us each week. Hope you guys really enjoyed halftime. I know personally, me and Tyler did.
Had a blast.
Seriously. You know what? And I enjoyed it so much that right here and right now, Professor Kara Catalese, I'm saying that I want to come back for another season of halftime. I'm willing to do this again next year. And you know what? I enjoy it. I want to do it. I'm here. So, you know, get back to me. Let's talk about it over the summer. Let's wait till next semester and talk about it. You know, hopefully you'll have me again. But Tyler?
I'm also in on this deal. Maybe we can work a deal out. I can come back. It's not a big deal. I have time.
Dynamic duo right here. Well, for the last time, I'm your host, Blaze Basile, signing off, as long with
Tyler Ramos.
And I hope you guys really enjoyed halftime this season and hope you enjoy the rest of BTL. Have a good summer, everyone.
Welcome back to Between the Lines and welcome inside Weekend Update as it's time to look back at what transpired for our KU Golden Bears in the last few days for the final time this semester. That's Glenn Mann. I'm Tyler Trumbauer. I know it's a little sad, Glenn. I forgot the Kleenex for you. But we'll start off with another person that needed a Kleenex or two, but tears of joy this past weekend as that was Jordan Morgan in the 2017 NFL Draft. Morgan was a factor in the 5th round, as you've been hearing it for a while. The rumblings, the mock drafts, as Kutztown's own Jordan Morgan was drafted in the 5th round with the 147th overall pick by the Chicago Bears. And it was even more special because of where the draft was held, Glenn.
For sure. The draft this past weekend was held in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which Jordan is a native of. It's pretty funny that Jordan was a Bear in high school, a Golden Bear in college, and now he's a Chicago Bear. Awesome stuff to see there. It's crazy to think that Jordan only played half a season of football in high school, but caught the eye of Raymond Monica, who encouraged him to walk on, redshirt his freshman year, and then started all 4 years of his eligibility. It's a really great story to hear, and he leaves, I believe, May 10th to go to Chicago for mandatory rookie camps. So I'm sure that we'll have plenty of press coverage for that. It's going to be awesome to see. It's great that this is now the second Golden Bear in, I believe, 16 years to be drafted into the NFL. It's awesome to see. great stuff for the PSAC as well.
4th Golden Bear ever to be drafted overall in any round in the NFL draft. And interesting enough is Morgan, as you mentioned, joining that offensive line of the Chicago Bears. He'll be the 2nd player hailing from the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference on the offensive line for Chicago, as the Bears have a player from Cal U as well. So think about that. You could half your offensive line from the PSAC.
A Vulcan and a Bear on the Bears. Awesome to see.
That's good to see. Moving on to the softball team now, 30-13 overall, 13-3 in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Team went 3-1 last week, Glenn, taking 1 of 2 from nationally ranked Westchester, and then sweeping Millersville on Senior Day in the regular season finale as they started, or I should say, they finished the regular season off in quite the fashion.
Absolutely a hot streak to end off the regular season, winning 5 of 6. Entering the PSAC playoffs, which begins today, where they will face the Bloomsburg Huskies in the first round. Kutztown enters the playoffs with the best ERA in the conference, and I believe Bloomsburg's not too far with the 4th best in the PSAC. Kutztown ended the regular season sharing the PSAC East title with Westchester, so obviously a very successful regular season, but the work's not done yet. They're going to be going up against Bloomsburg, like I said, today to start off the PSAC playoffs. Should be exciting for them.
Certainly, just like the tennis program we saw a few weeks ago got into the PSAC playoffs and then ran into the defending conference champion. Same cards dealt to the softball team getting into the PSAC playoffs and running into the defending conference champion Bloomsburg as they defeated Cal U a year ago. And then it's a double elimination tournament for the PSAC playoffs down in Quakertown, as you mentioned, starting Wednesday afternoon. The team is the 2nd seed in the East. They face Bloomsburg, Wednesday at 3 p.m. And if they win, they either play Gannon, Ship, or IUP. As Ship IUP play a first round, and then that winner plays Gannon. And then if they got that far, that would be the winner if KU would win. If KU loses, it either plays one of those 3 teams again who wins the first round but loses in that second round game. Are you confused? I am too.
Thank God for the second chance. That's all I have to say.
Double elimination gives you an extra chance, but it's certainly with that extra kind of pigtail round throws a wrench into things in that bottom half of the bracket. But best of luck to the softball team who's continuing their season in the playoffs. Moving on to the women's lacrosse team who wrapped up their 2017 campaign, and they're 7-10 overall, 3-9 in the PSAC. The team fell to Bloomsburg 14-12 and to Seton Hill 14-6 to finish out that campaign. But before it was over, they rewrote a few pages in the record books, Glenn.
For sure, Tyler. They broke 7 different school records. Some were single season, some were career records. Courtney O'Neill, I believe, has 4 now to her name, 2 single season records and 2 career records. And then Sarah Gabriel, who's most likely going to break every offensive record in the book, is only a junior and is now about, I believe, 10 goals off of the most in a single season and also in a career. Awesome to see that.
She's the all-time leading scorer now.
Is she now?
She
that's my fault.
Because
forget what I said.
28 goals in the final 2 contests for the team overall, with Sarah taking a chunk of those, will certainly help. So
for sure.
In that loss to Bloom, she did become the program's all-time leading scorer. And as you said, 7 school records broken versus the Huskies. But the end of the season brings the end of careers for Courtney O'Neill, as you mentioned, who will etch her name for eternity, Haley Romoser and Abby Cox. So congratulations to them on terrific careers as a KU Golden Bear for the women's lacrosse program. Moving on to the outdoor track and field program, with the men's and women's outdoor teams split this past week, with some athletes competing at the historic Penn Relays down in Philadelphia, while others competed at the Paul Kaiser Classic hosted by Shippensburg University. And for the men there, Glenn, there was another school record that toppled.
At the Paul Kaiser Classic, the 4x1 relay team broke the school record with a blitzing time of 41:02. This team consisted of Mike Burton, Anthony Bolero, Jelani Johnson, and CJ Lindsay Jr. It was a 16-year-old record. Awesome stuff to see there. And then for the women's squad, you had Ashley Stewart, who won the 400-meter run, Joanne Mason, who won the 100-meter hurdles, and then Mackenzie Fagan, who won the high jump, all at the Paul Kaiser Classic. I feel bad for whoever had to go to the Penn Relays. All that traffic during the draft must have been horrendous.
Certainly a great lifetime achievement, though, to be able to say you competed at such a historic event, though, as well. The teams compete in the 2017 PSAC Championships this upcoming Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at Bloomsburg University. And then they have the Grand Valley State Last Chance meet, and then the NCAA Championships if any Golden Bears are able to make it that far. Best of luck to them in the remainder of the 2017 campaign. We'll wrap up Weekend Update this episode and this semester with the baseball team. 15-29 overall, 4-20 in the conference. Not the greatest of weeks last week for the guys on the diamond. Team went 0-4 last week as Golden Bears were swept by the Raiders of Shippensburg in the home-and-home series last week. And those scores, a little better on Friday. Senior Day, though, the Bats were silent.
Absolutely. On Friday, they lost 3-1 and 6-2. Close affairs there, but like you said, Bats were silent, unable to get anything going offensively on Saturday as they lost 5-0 and 2-0. Saturday was the home doubleheader, so unfortunately they were not able to pick up the victories in front of the home crowd. But we will be honoring the departure of a ton of seniors for the Golden Bears, including Ben Epley, Darian Sarlat, Curtis Holtz, Ryan Clow, Matt Matriardi, Alec Odell, Joe Santispago, Zach Schramm, and Anthony Addix, who were all honored before the game. Best of luck to them as they further their careers in life and as their athletic careers come to a close.
Enriching, powerful stuff from Glenn there. And the season still continues for the guys, although they had senior day. Wanted to get that in while classes are still going on so their classmates can support them. But the season still continues. They host Chestnut Hill for a non-conference game on Wednesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Just one game, not a doubleheader. And then face Bloomsburg for a PSAC home-and-home series this Friday and Saturday to wrap up the 2017 season. The Golden Bears host the Huskies on Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. on North Campus Field, with them visiting Bloom on Saturday. And that wraps things up for them. And that wraps things up for us, Glenn. It's been fun, right?
Absolutely.
It's been a good time, sir. That's all for us here on Weekend Update for Glenn Mann. I'm Tyler Trumbauer. Don't go anywhere. More BTL after this.
I'm Matt, and I'm Player of the Week. I'm a freshman, and my major is criminal justice. I've been playing football since the 4th grade, so about 10 years. I got into it because one of my buddy's dads mentioned it to me, and I just kind of picked it up from there. My parents are a big part of it. They're a big support system for me. My friends, of course, coaches, and just all my other teammates. So, yeah. Usually I wake up. The game's at 1, I usually wake up around 8. We have team breakfast around 9:30, 10. I'm in the locker room by 11. I usually get taped, pick up my jersey and everything, and then just listen to music until we go out for the game. My dad's a lawyer, and I just said, I want to be a cop in my major, so I think that's always been one of my big inspirations to become a criminal justice major. I want to be a college coach, but so that's a big question for the major because I might switch my major. But no, college coach is one of the main things I want to do. So, yeah. Just the teammates. I love my teammates. Love playing for a team, and coaching staff's great. And it's just a great atmosphere here. So, yeah. Just finished up spring ball. So spring ball was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We had practice. Sometimes Tuesday and Thursday. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday we had practice. Tuesdays and Thursdays we lifted, and then we just had our spring game, and offense got the win. We were excited about that. Defense has gotten the win the past couple of years, and yeah, so it was just practice 3 days a week, lifting twice a week, and it was just good to get out during the spring, just have football. Team dynamic's really good right now. We have a couple guys back that are really good leaders. Yeah, we just have a lot of good guys back that are bringing us together and everything. I think we have our chemistry is really good right now, and I'm excited for the upcoming season.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Between the Lines. Once again, we'd like to thank all of our guests for helping us out this week. To stay up to date on all the latest news and scores, be sure to visit KUBears.com, like Between the Lines on Facebook, and follow @KUTV Sports on Twitter to stay up to date on all latest scores and game broadcast information. From all of us here at Between the Lines, we'd like to wish you the best of luck on your finals next week, and we hope to see you all right back here in the fall for a fresh new semester of Between the Lines. For Glenn Mann, I'm Tyler Trumbauer, reminding you that on Outside the Lines, you only get the scores. But on Between the Lines, we get you inside the locker room.